it's just going to come down to, Kyler Murray, man, to far as the back half of the season. Like, we all seen what he's able to do in the first half of the season, but now we need him to answer the bell when it really matters in November, December.
Joining us now, day 3 from Radio Row here at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, Arizona Cardinal legend, Patrick Peterson. How we living, my guy?
Living great, man. Happy to be here with you guys.
We're fired up, man, to have you back on. We had you on the show just a couple of years ago. We've talked about your time with the Arizona Cardinals, that we want to see you, Ring of Honor, eventual Hall of Fame. Have there been any discussions with the Cardinals about anything like that?
As far as, like, Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
Why not? The big bad man's gone now. I mean,
I don't have bad blood.
No, you don't have bad blood.
We're talking about Steve.
Yeah,
We can say his name out loud.
Michael Bidwell's now, in charge. Monty Ossenfort. I mean, we got to get you back in the good graces far as the Valley.
Man, honestly, I don't have any bad blood. I don't know if the fans hate the fact that I said what I said about the general manager, but it was the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you want me to say.
And now they're echoing those comments, right? Now,
The comments have aged very well.
So I don't know what else you wanted me to say.
Yeah.
And then I've been getting, I'm a bad person or I hate. No, it wasn't that. I was just speaking my truth.
Yeah. We had our conversation with you in Phoenix at the Super Bowl then, and I think that you clarified everything very well. And now, like Johnny's saying, it aged very well. Mm-hmm. As we're here in New Orleans, though, I mean, you getting any recs from the Honey Badger, Ty Matthew?
Yeah, man. I just actually, I'm going to see him tomorrow. His barber, shout out to his barber, he gave me a haircut. But yeah, I'm going to see my guy. We talk all the time. This is going to be my first time seeing him though in about 3 years, which is ironic.
Wow.
We talk all the time.
Yeah.
But with our schedules, our off season, he has a family, I have a family, all kind of always moving in different directions, but this is going to be my first time seeing my baby brother in about 3 years, so I'm excited.
Yeah, from one safety to another, it's disappointing because I would have loved to have seen you finish your career with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals extended a former teammate of yours, Budda Baker.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it looks like he's going to finish his career in Arizona. Like, talk to me about Budda Baker, what he was like in his early days and now being kind of the tenured Cardinal defensive back.
Man, Budda, a stud. The spark plug of the defense. He's just like Tyrann, the smallest guy on the field, but plays with the biggest heart. You know what I mean? You can't. That's something that's not measured. You can't measure that. So ever since he got there as a rookie, man, I knew he was going to be special. And you can even ask him. I wanted to, instill some leadership skills to where, when I leave, it'll be the defensive back room be left in good hands. And I felt like I was able to, help Budda navigate his way throughout his early years and help him become, the leader that he is now.
Was there a moment when he showed up? I mean, we've heard his practices are legendary. Was there anything like, hey, chill, or is this like?
I mean, the guy, he never stops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He never stops. He's just always, he's like a, I gotta ask him, did he have ADHD when he was a kid? Because he seemed like he could never sit still. You know what I mean? But the guy just special, man. Loves ball, loves to compete, and just love to bring whatever it is out of his teammates. So it was definitely a blast and a pleasure to be his running mate.
I want to talk about that 2015 Arizona Cardinal team, the last great team in Arizona. Just a win away from getting here at the Super Bowl. What do you think happened at the end of the year, like, that could have changed the course of you guys getting to the championship?
Injuries, man. We got to think about going back. We lost Tyrann in the game against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The game that sealed it for us for the NFC West. Then Carson Palmer tore a ligament in his index finger against Green Bay, the divisional round. I think like our linebackers was a little decimated. Then on top of that, we only had 7 defensive backs that whole year, so we wasn't even equipped. Like, we couldn't afford anyone to get hurt, and it happened at the wrong time when Tyrann went down against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, man, that was a great team, but injuries got us, man. We just started missing too many key pieces.
Yeah.
If Tyrann doesn't get hurt, do you think you beat the Panthers? Do you think you beat Carolina?
It would have been I don't think we win because Carson still was banged up.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't throw the ball past, 35 yards. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first play of the game was an interception.
Yeah.
We tried to run a post to John Brown, and we end up throwing an interception. So we needed Carson to be healthy for the most part because that year as well, our offense was averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we needed him to be healthy to be able to put the ball in the end zone. But yeah, injuries got us that year, man.
I mean, if it wasn't for Cam, I mean, Carson is the MVP that season, 35 touchdowns.
Yes.
You got Cam saying, and it kind of salt in the wound for that loss. It's like Cam's like, I cherish MVPs more over Super Bowls. I'm like,
yeah, I see he's been getting a lot of heat after that comment.
Yeah, look, I can kind of understand it to an extent, but like going back in the Cardinals' glory days, though, it feels good to talk about that. We were talking to Britton Golden, our co-host, who was one of your teammates out there. He told us that he was your primary punt returner. And that at certain points you could say, hey, I'm going to return this punt. How did that dynamic work?
He loves when we bring that up, by the way.
How does that work?
Man, honestly, it was BA. BA gave me the free range, to pretty much call my shot. Because obviously I have a history of returning punts.
Yes, we remember. Against the Rams, one of the greatest moments in Cardinals history.
Yeah, so then when BA became our head coach, he was like, man, like we feel like you're way more valuable at the defensive back position than the punt return, so we don't want to have you getting injured and now pretty much throwing a monkey wrench in our game plan. So it's like, man, whenever you want, like, I want you to be a situational guy. So if the team is backed up, we know they're going to try to just boom it as far as they can. So the coverage is going to take a little longer to get down there. And then if the team is at the plus 50, coaches never like the ball to touch the ground. Like, nobody, the ball cannot touch the ground because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an end over end, and most punt return catchers, they hate catching the end over end. So to be more of a sure hand catcher, I was a sure hand catcher. He wanted me to catch the end over end balls when teams were kicking the plus 50s.
That's the perfect transition. I don't know if anybody's brought this up, so I'm going to coin it here. You were Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter, so you were shut down defensive back. You had offensive packages. Arians gifted you offensive packages, warranted it.
Throwing balls. He was catching balls.
Like how? Like what Travis Hunter is supposedly attempting to do? Like how difficult is that? Like, is there any way he could be a two-way player based on your experience?
I don't believe he can do it full time. I believe he can be a two-way player, but they're going to have to pick spots. Just because the NFL is a lot. The physicality is a night and day difference from college football into the pros. And Travis is not saying that he's a tiny guy. I'm sure that he can endure the physical hits that he's possibly going to take, but can he endure that for 18 weeks? Like that.
Yeah.
That's a challenge in itself.
Right.
Getting through an 18-week season is a challenge in itself. And now having to play both sides of the ball, learning the defensive playbook is a challenge in itself. So it's so many challenges that he's going to be facing if he really wants to play both sides full time.
Yeah, playing 100+ snaps a game, it's crazy stuff.
Plus, I think it's going to be impossible for him to do that and play, 8-7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk to me about what you've seen from your former organization under new head coach, new GM. Like, you saw him in Pittsburgh last year. Did you feel a difference between this team from previous iterations of the Cardinals?
Yeah, man. Just, having an opportunity. I played against Cliff when he was obviously the head coach.
Yeah.
I was in Minnesota, then had an opportunity to play against Gannon 2 years ago when they came out to Pittsburgh. Just it's good to see those guys flying around, even though that they didn't have the biggest names on defense.
Yep.
But the guys played with passion. The guys played with heart, and really created a lot of havoc for offenses. Regardless what the situation was. It's just going to come down to Kyler Murray, man. As far as the back half of the season, like, we all seen what he's able to do in the first half of the season, but now we need him to answer the bell when it really matters in November, December.
What do you think the reason is that his play falls off in the second half?
I have no idea. That's a question that everybody want to know the answer to, because he's been in the league, what, 6 years?
Yeah.
And it's been the same thing since he's been in the league. So that's something he have to gonna have to ask himself, like, what I have to do to turn this thing around, because we all know his athletic ability is through the roof. And we all know when his game is on, the Cardinals have an opportunity to win the ball game. So the offensive coordinator, head coach, organization gonna have to, find a way to keep that momentum going throughout the second half of the seasons.
As a DB like yourself, when you see somebody just a freak like Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, what do you see from his game? How do you even approach defending a guy at 6'4", 212? I mean, you used to go head-to-head with Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
There's that great shot, by the way. Yeah. You looking into
it's iconic.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like I love going up against those type of receivers, the bigger frame guys, because they're not able to move as swift as the smaller guys. You know what I mean? So I feel like I can be a little bit more physical with the bigger receivers. So he definitely presents some challenges because he has speed. He's a great route runner. I know he had a little problem with the drops this season, but I don't. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be another Arizona Cardinal great as well.
This is where we usually ask, like, who you with today, but we know who you're with. It's our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. What are you guys doing with Gila?
Man, Gila River is have this $5.9 million prop bet sweepstakes, basically. So you fill out 26 easy questions on a prop card, and you have an opportunity to win $5.9 million.
Wow.
We do our watch parties at Gila River, Wild Horse Pass.
Well, since you're doing your watch party, dinner's on me.
Oh, my
Let's
goodness.
do it.
That's
Dinner's
We'll
on
go to
me. Free
Shula's.
play. You can go blackjack. You go to Shula's, $250 on me.
8 straight Pro Bowls with the Arizona Cardinals. When are you Hall of Fame eligible?
4 years from now, I'm assuming.
Oh, well, we'll be leading that charge for that.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Pat Pete.